To build an alignment, you have to be ready to bring it to form. Otherwise, you're going to spend decades stalling and delaying your impact. Hi, I'm naomiolutayo, the brand priestess, and I partner with spiritual women founders with multi-venture visions to bring it into full materialization, coherence, and alignment with the vision that God has given them. If this video activates you at all, then consider subscribing to my newsletter, Letters from My Living Room, where it's a newsletter where spiritual women founders subscribe to when they're ready to apply, embody, and activate their alignment in their vision, their life, their companies, and their brands. The link to subscribe is in the description box below. Now let's get into today's video. Right now, you have a multi-dimensional, ahead of its time vision, and you can feel how impactful it is. You can smell how much magnitude it has. You experience the catalyticness, is that a word? You can feel that catalyticness in your body, in your mind, in your soul every day. You dream about it, you talk about it, you draw about it, you write about it. It's all you think about. It lives in your body, yet you may struggle to make sense of what it is, the magnitude of it all. And you may even struggle to communicate it without flattening it. I know that sometimes you may try to explain to, let's say, a friend or a colleague, and all you can get out is, oh, I'm just building an app, or I'm just building a clothing line. And there's always the just in front of it, because you know it's not just that. That's just the easiest way to relay it without sounding insane. Right now, this vision, the fullness of it, exists without form, void, structure, or name. You may have one venture in your vision that you're able to articulate, which most founders typically do. They may have one venture that they're able to say, like, oh, this is what this is, but you don't understand how it fits to the whole picture. So in that context, it exists without form, void, structure, or name. And that is very similar to the beginning, back in Genesis, when the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters of the deep. Right now, your spirit is hovering over the waters of the deep. And this is the realm that your multi-venture vision exists in right now. Pure potential, just pure just pure formlessness. It exists only in the realm of possibility and potential. As your spirit is hovering over this potential, over these waters, it's absorbing revelation. You're receiving downloads about the vision, and your spirit is coming to terms with the magnitude of it. It's going through the growing pains of the kind of leader that you've been called to be. You're familiarizing yourself with this vision. Your spirit is decoding those secret desires and wants that you have been feeling for a long time. Your spirit is gestating this vision internally, and through it all, you're listening, you're hearing, you're ready to receive the next revelation, the next instructions, the next impartation that will help you move forward in this vision. Fun fact, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved or hovered upon the face of the waters. That word, moved or hovered, in Hebrew is rakaf, I think. And it literally means to brood like a bird over its eggs, which speaks to the kind of gestation that you're doing when your spirit is, when you and your spirit is in this phase. It's like the trembling anticipation before life begins. The point I want to make in this phase is this phase that you're in right now, is that this vision doesn't exist materially. It doesn't exist yet. It just exists in symbols, in somatic impressions, in desires and dreams, and the intimate conversations you have between you and God. This has very much become your safe place, because the only people who understand you is you, God, and maybe you might have somebody in your corner, but more often than not, there's no one. It's just you. This has been your safe place. You've been able to protect the sanctity of this vision, because how are you supposed to tell somebody that you have this vision with multiple ventures across several industries that is supposed to look this kind of one way, but it's not this way, it's difficult. And also just the rejection that you could face. Like, I know I've dealt with that a lot. For me, I've always said like, oh, I just work in marketing, because I couldn't even begin to explain what I do as a strategist. And strategy is the least of what I do. And strategy isn't all of what I do. It's just one of the first ventures that I'm embarking on my own brand universe, right? So after even just navigating myself, and after working with founders in my Vision Revelation Intensive, which is the container where we bring form to the vision that is in the state. But we'll talk more about that later. So after talking to founders and working with founders in that state, I really realized how much of a safe space this is, even for me. It's such a safe space to the point where you can almost get stuck there. It's very easy to get stuck. You'll notice that when you read the rest of the first chapter in Genesis, the Spirit of God hovered, but he didn't stay there. He hovered and he didn't stay there. After God's Spirit finished hovering, he spoke and he said, "Let there be light." And then from that moment onwards, he began the process of separation by way of differentiation. He separated the light from the darkness, the wet from the dry, the sky from the earth, right? What that looks like when you're a founder, going from your spirit hovering over the pure raw potential of this vision to declaring, "Let there be," what that process looks like, from going from your vision being formless and without name to bringing name and naming it in such a way that you can bring differentiation to this conglomerate of a vision that's in your mind. That is called let there be energy, what I like to call let there be energy. And what that looks like is bringing the first signs of life in the physical realm to your vision. And like I said, when you're in the spirit hovering phase, it's easy because there's nothing really required of you. You're in a very easygoing, receptive state. And you don't have to really say like, this is what this is, this is what this is who I need to become for this to manifest and materialize on earth, and how I can manage it and maintain it and launch in this direction. There's nothing required of you. But the moment that you give name to it, it exists. And that's difficult, because now not only are you open to judgment, not only are you risking the perceived risk of failure, but you're now going through an identity death. There's this doula that I follow. I can't remember her name, but she's on TikTok. She has been saying for a long time that when you go through when you go through labor, when you go through the process of conception, the 9 months, and then giving birth, that's an entire ego death. And mothers aren't properly prepared for that. And no one ever approaches labor from that perspective, because mothers have been saying it, women have been saying this for years and years and years, decades and forever, that becoming a mother changes you. And it's the same thing with this. You're not taking something in your brain and just working within a system to thrive. This vision that God has given you is literally your baby that you are birthing. You are literally giving birth to form, to physical, tangible form on earth, and that changes you, because you have to change to become the person who can maintain it, can caretake it, and can actually bring this vision the distance. And so a lot of founders resist this phase because of the fear. They fear that they're not going to be able to honor the expanse of it all. They fear the criticism, and they fear losing the sanctity of the vision by giving it definition. I just need you to know that graduating from hovering to the declaration of materialization on earth through let there be is the most important step for you building an alignment as a founder, because you go from consuming your potential to embodying it. Remember when I said that we get really comfortable in the hovering phase? In that phase, when it's past due, you end up consuming this very thing that is meant to change you, the collective, your bloodline, and whatever you've been called to change and impact and transform. It's this process or this graduation from hovering to declaration is most important, because saying let there be is the first sign of materialization on earth. You giving name to what this is and starting the process of differentiation and strategy and hierarchy is the first sign of life. And then lastly, it's most important because you stand in authority and you claim authorship. I remember there's a video, I think it's called The Evil of Not Being Mirrored or something like that. If you type in my name, the Brand Priestess, and mirroring, you'll see the video. But basically in that video, I was explaining how important mirroring is. And the first part of mirroring is giving name to a thing. I give the example in the video is like, there are millions and billions of species and other creatures on this planet, but we don't even know most of it. We only know a small fraction of it all. And every so often we get the news that a scientist discovers something and we never seen it before, and we're able to classify it, and we're like, oh, this is this kind of fish, or it's this kind of amphibian, and then we give it a name. Until we acknowledge the existence of a thing and we become aware of the existence of a thing, and then we give name to a thing so others can both acknowledge and become aware of it, it doesn't exist, even though it exists. But in a relational level, things don't exist until you're made aware of it, until you acknowledge it, and then you give it a name. Your vision, which you have inside of you, will never exist until you become aware of it, which you have been. That's why you've been hovering over it. You become aware, you acknowledge it in such a way that you can now say, this exist, and give name to it. And giving name to it doesn't mean just choosing a business name. It means defining the hierarchy, separating the ventures separating venture from venture. It is deciding what its impact is on earth. Until you give definition and name to it, it does not exist. And you will continue to consume the very thing that's supposed to change your life and the lives of several others in the collective. It is your choice to declare this into materialization. You have to sort out that fear that you may have, whether it's fear, whether it's low self-concept, whatever it is, it's your decision. And when you want to make that decision, you have to figure out what is stopping me from bringing material form to this vision. You will always hover if you don't give yourself permission by way of self-trust to bring it into form. Do you trust yourself to take the expanse of this vision that has been resting inside of you, where your spirit has been hovering over the pure potential of it all, and bring it into this material plane and build and execute it? And not in a half-assed way, but I'm talking about build and execute for real. When I'm talking about materialization, I don't mean like dancing, putting your toe in. It's either in or out. Do you trust yourself? That is the power of let there be. And I like to say it let there be energy, but really it's your decision of motherhood or fatherhood or whatever it is. It's a decision. It's a conscious movement through embodiment. And it's an exercise of your power as a creator. It is literally the closest you will ever get to God, or mirroring God in that way. Because was he not our creator and he created us? This is a direct mirroring of our creator. And that's who we've called to be in his image, to create. It's your decision, and it's a decision that you have to make before you can even consider moving in alignment, building in alignment. That decision is required first before anything can be materialized. The clients who come to work with me in the Vision Revelation Intensive are often teetering on the verge of let there be. And as their strategist, their doula, and their guide, I lead them through the process of differentiation, naming, strategy, architecture, structure, team building, everything. So you go, my clients and I, we take the expense of their vision. I take on the vision and hold it within me so that I can be able to begin the process of differentiation, separation, everything. They don't go through this process alone, and it's a lot, and that's why I created my Vision Revelation Intensive. If you are a spiritual founder with a multi-venture vision and you've already gotten the confirmation, or you are more interested in working with me and you're getting the sense that this is a kind of partnership that would benefit you and the vision that you are co-creating with God, I have a link in my bio to the Vision Revelation Intensive where you can check out all the details and also, if it's aligned, apply. The link for all of that will be in the description box below. And of course, if this video activated you at all, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. That is a place where founders go to be guided and led through their process of alignment as a multi-venture founder. Anyways, I thank you for stopping by in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.